Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jennifer. This is A Country Life. It is 2:44 right now, and I am giving myself 1 hour and 16 minutes to get all of the things done in my kitchen to get a whole lot of food prepped for my family for the week. Here is Joe. We only have a second, Joe, because we're on a time schedule, okay?
No.
Looks like you had some hot chocolate.
No.
Yes, you did. I see it.
No.
I originally thought that I was going to do 2 hours, but I'm getting a little bit later start, so I am going to push it to 1 hour and 15 minutes. I'd like to get some chili made, just my traditional chili, traditional meatloaf, baked potatoes and carrots. That particular meal is going to be for supper tonight. I have a big pack of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Half of it is going to get cubed up and put into this chicken and potatoes hot dish dinner that I would like to make for probably tomorrow. For probably tomorrow's supper, I would like to do some chocolate chip cookies and then cook up some taco meat and some tater tot casserole meat. I'm not going to put the whole casserole together, just fry up the meat. And then the remaining chicken from this is going to get cooked up for a meal that I'd like to make probably next week. It is a new recipe to me from that Skillet Full cookbook that I've been working through, and that is called hot chicken salad. So let's see what all I can make happen here in 1 hour and 15 minutes. The first thing that I'm getting going here is the venison, so I want to get the ground venison. At least 3 of my packages starting to fry up. I'm going to add 1 onion per package of ground venison. 2 of my packages are about 2 pounds, and the other one is just a little under 2 pounds. So I need 3/4 cup of dry breadcrumbs for my meatloaf. I don't have a full, I only have like 2 tablespoons. So I'm just gonna roll out some saltine crackers, and we're gonna do that. I rolled out a few too many saltines. That's okay. I just threw it all in here anyway. It'll be just fine. Meatloaf is pretty forgiving that way. And in the end, as long as there's enough ketchup, pretty much I think meatloaf is always good. I just took a moment there to mix up the meat that I have frying or browning. Outside.
What?
He went out to be by watch Dad. I find that when making my meatloaf, if I push the edges down, I seem to get more of a like loaf shape to it, and it just seems to just look pretty, and it's a little more presentable. Always, always, always top the meatloaf with more ketchup. I'm just going to set this aside now until it's time for this to go in for supper tonight. It is now 3:07. I do have some of these gold potatoes. It doesn't say Yukon Gold, but I feel like that's what they are. And I'm going to make 6 of these. That's really just 1 per person, but that should be plenty tonight. There'll be 6 of us home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? Actually, I just changed my mind. I'm going to do 8 because some of them are pretty small. I put 1 cup of water into a pot of my Instant Pot. Ooh, that is a rotten potato. Yuck, 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 yuck. Okay, the one was rotten and I already had the bag put away, so I'm just going to do 7 potatoes tonight in my Instant Pot here. So to do baked potato in the Instant Pot, what I do is put 1 cup of water in there, and then I'm going to set this to manual pressure high for 15 minutes, or do I do 16? No, 15 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it on, and I like to do it far enough in advance so it can just naturally release and just sit. The potatoes can just sit in there and stay nice and hot, and they get so tender and delicious. We really like it that way. And then I'll serve these up with the meatloaf tonight for supper. Okay, all the meat that's earmarked for tacos and chili and what's my other thing? Tater tot casserole. This is all looking really, really good. Just going to give it another stir before I move on to the I'm going to move on to putting together the cookies. I have some unsalted butter left from Christmas that we really, I really only like to use when baking because we just are not big on the flavor when we're buttering toast or something like that. Yeah? What? We have a problem. He's hurt. Okay, we have a major change of plans. We believe that Peter just broke his arm. I will be back. Well, good morning. I'm going to try to pick up where I left off yesterday. I left you guys with quite a cliffhanger. Here's Peter. Yes, he did indeed break his arm. He broke both the ulna and the radius, just right in half, right? Mm-hmm. You went from 206 bones in the body to 208. Right? But we're working at getting it back to just 206. So anyway, that really kind of just threw a wrench into the plans for the day. I see I need to get Joe's toothbrush ready, but I know everyone's going to be wondering about how this happened. So basically, he had a four-wheeler accident. We're very, very fortunate that he was wearing a helmet. We are always on them to wear their helmets, and sometimes we catch them without, but he had a helmet on, so we were very, very happy about that. So here we are trying to get back into kind of a new normal, and I need to get Joe's toothbrush ready. All right, so where I was yesterday, I had the meat cooking. I had the meatloaf ready to go into the oven. I had the potatoes going in the Instant Pot. I was just getting started on some cookies. I had the chicken in here. I was going to start cubing that up as soon as I got like the first pan of cookies in. So everything just sort of got left. What ended up happening is that Warren, he had to get back out to hauling, and I got Joseph and Peter and Maria into the vehicle, you know, into the van, and I dropped off I dropped off Joseph and Maria at Emily's, and then I hightailed it over to the emergency room with Peter, and then Sam got home in the midst of all of that, and he was like, what's going on? So anyway, we had some texts back and forth as to what was happening, and Sam made the meatloaf for me, and then when Warren got in from work, then he just kind of like wrapped up a couple of things, put my meat away and stuff like that, and here we are. So let me just get right back into where I was and see if I can make this go quickly, because yesterday it was going so well. I put nuts in them, yeah.
Or your chocolate chip cookies with nuts in them.
I put some walnuts in.
I guess I'll still try it.
You'll still try it.
Is it good?
Of course it's good. Oh, that's a little too big.
I'm ready. You take it.
There you go. You guys share that one.
Mine have more chocolate chips. Mine have more dough. Okay.
Okay, who needs to brush their teeth yet? Anyone?
Me and him and Joe are good.
All right, very good. Okay, Peter, I'd like you to get your tornado book. I'd like you to sit down. Is that shifting again? Yeah. Yeah, come here. Come here.
Hey, Peter, I see something here that we learned about in Rosa's head. Remember?
There you go. Is that better?
But no one else, and all the other people had their umbrellas standing in the rain, but they couldn't see her.
Away. Trying to hold on to the lovely through the bitter of hard times. Lord knows you were hungry too. We were both flat out starving.
So as I continue to make the cookies here, I have been working on the cheesy chicken and potatoes, and so this is a recipe out of, and I will link the cookbook. It's like a, I think it's called a dump casserole cookbook or something like that. Anyway, I've made a few different recipes. The other night I made, if I can get this bacon out of here. The other night I made a Doritos cheesy chicken, which was actually good. It just needed a lot more seasoning. Like, I liked the premise of it and the idea of the recipe. It just needed more seasoning. So when we were done eating it, then what I did is I mixed together some ranch powder and some taco seasoning spice blend, and then I stirred that into the casserole, and then that's how we ate it after that when we warmed it up. And that was actually a lot better. So with this one that I'm making today, the cheesy chicken and potatoes, I have to get this bacon cooked up. I need a half a cup of cooked and crumbled bacon. I'm thinking that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strips is probably going to give me about a half a cup. If it's a little more, that's quite okay. No one ever complains that there's too much bacon, do they? Never, 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 never. So anyway, I'm gonna get this going in the air fryer. And like my toaster oven air fryer, I actually gave my drawer style air fryer, I gave that to Amber. She just moved out into her own apartment, which is very exciting for her, this last weekend, and I gave that one to her so that she could, you know, just become quite the cook.
What are you making?
What?
What are you making?
Why?
It smells so good out here.
Sam, those are chocolate
Cookies,
chip cookies with
bacon,
nuts in them.
chicken.
Bacon smells
Those
good.
are chocolate chip cookies with nuts in them.
All right, today is going a little slower just because I have texts coming through and phone calls are coming in from the doctor and from insurance and just all that kind of thing. Calling grandma, letting her know what happened and everything. So the whole idea that this was going to happen in like an hour and 15 minutes, that idea is long gone. So anyway, let me turn the camera around and show you here quickly before my battery completely dies. In here I have a packet of onion soup mix, an 8-ounce thing of cheese shredded, which is about 2 cups, a half cup of milk, a pouch of onion soup mix, did I say a can of cream of potato soup, and a cup of sour cream. So everything that's in here I am going to pour over top of the chicken here. Okay, I just see I was only supposed to put in half of the cheese in here. That's fine. It'll be just fine. But anyway, what I was supposed to do is only put half the cheese in, because then obviously I'd put the other half on top with the bacon that's over there. But I just want to let you know that we have found that some of the recipes from this like dump casserole or whatever it's called cookbook, which I'll link in the description box below, we like to have them a little more seasoned. So I did salt and pepper the chicken. I also put over some garlic powder, and I'm kind of toying with throwing on some seasoned salt as well. Cream of potato soup is kind of salty, as is the Lipton onion soup mix. So I think I'm actually going to hold off because I don't want it to be too salty. That would be a problem too. So, oh, and the bacon, and bacon. I have to remember bacon goes on top too, which is pretty salty. But this is good. It's coming along here. I do have to say this actually smells really, really good. It has a, I think it's that onion soup mix and the garlic that I put on there too. It has a really, really good smell. Okay, so when it is time to put this in the oven, I will put foil, and since it's very high in my pan, I'm going to spray my aluminum foil and then put that over top, cover it tightly, put it in the oven for 40 minutes. That is another thing that I have noticed with this cookbook, is that I feel like I have to put everything in a little longer than stated in the recipes. So I will most likely check this at 40 minutes, but I'm really thinking it's going to go for 50 minutes or maybe a smidge longer. Then I will take it out, I will uncover it, put the bacon bits on top, and put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. And then any casseroles like this I do find are best if they're not served immediately. They kind of, they just set up nice and seem to serve up better if they have another 10 or 15 minutes to really just kind of rest on the stovetop. And maybe that's why I find that I like to bake my casseroles longer, is because I do like to give them that time to rest. And obviously they kind of cool down just a little bit in that time as well. So that's how everything's going to go down with this recipe. I don't know if I'm going to be back showing the actual cooking of this, just because this is supposed to be more of just kind of this food prep style video for you guys. Well, it was supposed to be, let's buckle down and get a whole bunch of food prep done in an hour and 15 minutes, but life had other plans for me. So now what I'm going to do is start working on all of this hamburger that I had brought out. I'm going to get this divided out between the 3 different recipes that I want to make, and then I'm going to, I will season it up the way I want to. The chili, I'm going to actually make all the way. The taco meat will just get seasoned and put into a Ziploc bag and put into the freezer, and the tater tot casserole meat will just get seasoned and put into a Ziploc bag as well. I also had just realized that I still had that raw chicken that I wanted to boil up for the, what was that recipe called? It was called something like Mary Ann's or whatever, some kind of hot chicken salad. So I did, so I just put that in there. Now I'm actually going to deal with all of this cooked venison.
In the cupboard. Sam and Bill in the cupboard. Sam in the cupboard. Why does it say Sam in the cupboard?
So if you are cooking with venison, just remember that venison can take a lot of seasoning. This is my taco seasoning. I keep a pint jar of this in my cupboard at just about at all times. I can use it to season up, obviously, you know, tacos, but other taco-like dishes as well. So if I'm making a taco salad or I'm making taco soup or whatever it might be, I can always use this to season it up. I put 4 tablespoons in here today. It's usually it's usually 2 tablespoons per pound of meat. And I'm not gonna fully mix this up. That's it. That's what I do. I just top it in there, throw it in the fridge just like that, or in the freezer just like that, and it will be ready to go when I am ready for that. All right, the only thing I have to do right now is get everything into this big pot. This has the remaining meat, and this is going to be for chili. Okay, so if you have been around my channel for a long enough time, then you'll know that I make chili quite often. I've shown it on my channel a number of times. I've shown it when I've just like made chili just start to finish. I've shown it where I've made it and froze it in like a bulk cooking video, things like that. So anyway, I'm just doing the same thing here. I have some ground venison, I put onion in it, and I just browned that up. Now into my pot, I'm making a double batch here. I have 2 cans of tomato soup. I'm going to put in 2 cans of beans, including the juice. I'm going to put in a quart of my home canned tomato juice. Now the recipe needs 2 quarts. So I do have some of this tomato juice here that I had bought most likely before my tomatoes had come into season and I was already making tomato juice. And so it does say best by April 10th of 2021. Here we are in January already, and so I would like to make sure that I use this. So I am going to use this whole thing, which is more than a quart. That's okay. I'm going to throw that in here. I'm going to rinse my cans. All of these I'm going to rinse with about a 1/3 cup of water. Get that in, and then I'll show you the spices as we go about. It's not quite a 1/3 of a can. I guess it's really just whatever amount of water I need to get the contents rinsed out. So a single recipe would be a 1/3, so I'm going to do 2/3 cup of ketchup. And I'm just going to eyeball that. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of cumin. Again, I know that a tablespoon is 3 teaspoons, so I'm just going to eyeball this in here to about 2 teaspoons. We really like cumin, and so if I get a little extra, that's okay. I need 4 tablespoons of chili powder, which sometimes if your chili powder cakes, it's hard to get it out of there. There we go, just loosen it up a little bit. 1. I store my spices like this in a drawer over there. And so what I like to do is write the name of the spice on the lid. And if I happen to buy the same brand, all I do is just take the lid off the old one, put it onto the new one, and then I don't have to keep rewriting and remembering to do that. Okay, so that's 3 and 4. I also need 4 beef bouillon cubes. So that would be about 4 teaspoons of beef bouillon. So I'm going to do, there's 3 teaspoons for the tablespoon, and then there is an extra teaspoon. It really doesn't matter if you use the Weiler's beef bouillon cubes, you use the Knorr beef bouillon flavoring powder, if you use there's other options. There's like those more creamy soup bases. Those work also. So I'm just going to double check. I have in the ground venison, the tomato juice, the tomato soup, the kidney beans with the liquid, water to rinse the cans, the beef bouillon. Oh, I need my Worcestershire sauce. And you don't want to forget that. I have forgotten it before, and it really does add something to it. And when it's not there, you can definitely tell. So I'm going to get that. Worcestershire sauce has a habit of settling onto the bottom. Why is that kind of wet? Something must be leaking in my fridge. Okay, so you want to shake up your Worcestershire sauce. Okay. That looks good. And then I'm going to stir this. And I really find that chili tastes so much better if you give it time to, for the flavors to blend. So I'm not even going to put this on the stove today. I'm just going to put this right into the fridge like this. Let the flavors meld. It looks very liquidy today. We actually call ours oftentimes chili soup. And then tomorrow when I put this on to simmer for, boy, it's probably going to simmer for an hour and a half in the afternoon until it's time for supper. What I will do, Joe is hollering in the back, what I'll do is also make up elbow macaroni, and then we'll throw the elbow macaroni in here, and that thickens it up nicely. Other than waiting for the chicken to be done, which I think it's done right now. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to take those out, let them rest for about 15 minutes. Then I'm going to shred that up. And that is going to be for that hot chicken salad. Not something that I'm making today, but I'm going to just pop this into the freezer. No seasonings or anything, because when I make the chicken salad, it's going to get mixed with celery and onions and actually just a whole lot of things, and that's when I'm going to use that. Now, Maria, who gave you that old camera?
Sam.
Sam, what are you doing now?
Taking pictures.
Are you vlogging? I don't know. Is that a picture or is that video? I don't know. So, it was a picture, huh? Look at that. All right, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know that I did not set out to do what I had intended to do, which was to show you that you can easily, in only an hour and 15 minutes, put together some great meals for your family for the whole entire week. That isn't exactly how it all went down, but as always, life is what always wins, right? So in the description box below, I will have either recipes typed out, or I will have links over to where I have the recipes typed out for you. And you also will see down in the description box, there will be a link to pre-order my cookbook. I'm guessing that that's where we'll still be at the point when this video goes, goes live on my channel. And if you are new here, I'm so happy to have you here. And that's if you stuck around all the way to the end. And it would be wonderful if you would like and head over to the community tab to comment and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.